All right, welcome to Indie Attack. Today we have, what would you call it, Woody? Up arrow?
Up arrow.
Symbol, arrow symbol.
Arrow symbol.
It's a game...
Technically speaking, the title for this game is an up arrow,
yes,
which is not a readable human character. In
quote,
the
arrow,
language.
up, unquote. You know,
yes.
So, it's a platformer that this is an interesting game because it's sort of like this phase-based platformer where you're ascending a tower. Basically, you have a weapon and you fight creatures at times, and then at other times you're putting these bricks down so that you can sort of use them to strafe up to get to this treasure chest.
Kind of like Marble Safari. This is one of those bizarre genre combinations of this is a turn-based RPG platformer.
Yeah, slash, I mean, it's not like a Minecraft, but it's like you are building, you know, you're assembling as you go these bricks and trying to figure out the sort of, you know, what's the best way to get from point A to point B, you know, with like a lot of this stuff happening around it, you know, and
so,
like...
I enjoyed like the novelty of this quite a bit because it's one of those concepts where this is a very video game concept. It's kind of like something like elevator action, where as when you pitch like, hey, you go up and down elevators. Like, this isn't really a fun game to like pitch and to like it doesn't sound fun, but to actually play it where you have to build blocks and go up a tower. It's actually really cool how they do it. And I had quite a bit of fun with it and played it for quite a while.
Yeah, I think it's intelligent. And it is unique. You know, I mean, it feels like an old, like a Super Nintendo game where you're like, oh, they didn't know the rules yet. You know, it's like, it feels one of those things where it's like, oh, you do this, and this. You know, like platforming, turn-based, action, fighting. I mean, the combat is pretty much just hitting like stationary targets, though. To be fair, so it's like, and like you're collecting things. I felt very sort of on the outside of the game. I felt, but at the same time, I thought it was cool. It was a novelty.
Yeah, it could use kind of like the actual graphics of the game itself aren't like stellar.
Yeah.
And they could maybe use a little bit more of a thematic thing, like it's kind of a mix of a lot of different stuff. And then, as a person who played this for a little while longer, I would say it never really gets all that hard.
Yeah,
because I think the tower is pretty much infinite.
Node, yeah.
And that's probably my biggest complaint, and the biggest reason I stopped playing was because it didn't really end up feeling like I was going anywhere.
Yeah, because of the nature of just the way you're stacking the bricks, and you have like 5 to set each round, and then you wait, and like after a while you're just kind of waiting, so you can just like stack the bricks in a way where it's like, okay, I know how to, you know, traverse this environment. I just am waiting for time, and that's a little the combat then doesn't like sort of fill any void in between, you know, as far as like gameplay, you know.
So you could kind of address that in 2 ways. You could have a goal, and the goal is to get to the top of the tower, and it gets harder and harder and harder as that goes on. You could do a speed run type thing to get there fast enough. You could do in as few turns as possible. So there are ways you could advance this. But the
monsters become more difficult. You know, the combat becomes more of a thing that's important. You know.
I really like the concept, and I think the creator of this could do a lot with it.
Definitely. Oh, yeah,
So,
totally.
highly recommend trying this out, at least.
Yeah.
This would get a 4 for me, just for on sheer novelty alone.
I'm gonna have to, for me, I mean, I appreciate it, but I would say 3 because I just found it got pretty monotonous and was a little frustrating towards the end. Just as far as the stacking of the bricks and the time limit of your rounds. I don't know. But check it out.